Monk mode allows for periods of intense focus, leading to epiphanies and realizations you wouldn't get otherwise. Because you're basically distraction-free from all those elements in the matrix that keep you from your true potential. With monk mode, any and all distractions are viewed like the woman in the red dress.
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again.
Distractions from the matrix hijack your mind and consciousness and can be as deadly as an attack by Agent Smith. So then it becomes obvious that monk mode does help you escape the matrix, but it goes much deeper than that. Because really, monk mode can fundamentally change who you are. First of all, it might surprise you, there are no official rules to monk mode. The grounding is pretty simple. You're just going distraction-free for a period of time, just like a monk would. The reason you might think there are rules is because people make them up to have some structure around their particular monk mode. And you'll see some different people who are famous for enacting the monk mode and getting all kinds of stuff done. But it really depends upon what your goals are. I mean, if that's your goal to get stuff done, definitely. But each person has their own reason for going into monk mode, and as a result, they have their own strategies and different rules they want to put into place. Now, of course, you might find it helpful to adopt some of these rules.
This will be a bit of a shock to the system. So do 21 days, maybe take a week off, and then try 30 days, right? And you can kind of work up from there, right? Because if you go straight into 60-day pelt, then, you know, it just might be a little bit too much for you to handle.
But that really depends on you. Rather than getting all caught up in following any types of rules, you might consider what had happened outside of the construct.
Are you trying to tell me that I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Of course, you don't need to dodge bullets, which are basically distractions, because in effect, once you're in monk mode, you're at a totally different level. Of course, this does take some practice, some noodling around, but I do have an exercise you can do that'll help you to get started. But first, you have to know what you're up against, and of course, what your full potential actually is.
I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
With monk mode, you will definitely succeed. But that doesn't mean the matrix actually goes away while you're doing it. After all, most are a slave to the system, and they've been feeding it with their dreams and ideas all along the while. All that, along with their soul, is laying dormant for someday that never comes. Always taking a back seat to what society deems more important, which means even your fellow humans can be a threat.
To understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
Of course, as you know, it doesn't have to be with fighting. I mean, here's your friend or any of those around you and see what you're doing with monk mode and go, hey, come on, man, take a break. You can take it easy for a bit. You'll get back to it. Come with us. There's also looking at systems of freedom with different eyes. For example, you might see where a lot of people are making money online, but then when you look a little bit more closely, most of it's just a scam where still the top 2% are making it at the expense of everybody else. Just take a look at online courses. I mean, they're not really seen as a scam, but look at stats. 97% of the people who take an online course don't get the actual results they're looking for. That means a 97% failure rate. Of course, the person taking the courses are all supposed to be responsible for their outcome. It's even in some of the disclaimers. It's still suspect when you look at those results. Just take a look at most of the thumbnails that talk about creating online courses, and what do you see? The focus is usually upon money. What would happen if instead the focus was on the amount of people they helped? Would they still be able to brag? Now, I'm not here to say that online courses are necessarily a scam at all. There's tons of great online courses out there. And with a monk mode, you can actually, well, get through them and find some serious success. But I am saying that without it, you'll probably fall into one of those 97% who didn't make it. See, the way I see it is most people are taking those online courses in passive mode, much like they did when they were in school. And as such, they just want to be fed information. Monk mode changes all that by having supreme focus upon the outcomes you desire. Automatically, this means that people going through the online courses in monk mode are basically going from passive mode to active mode. The supreme focus of monk mode basically guarantees that you're going to be in that 3% that actually goes through the transformation that the course providers promise. Now, take an online course combined with monk mode, and a crucible of learning where basically you directly apply what you learn pretty much right away. This is where you can see possible targets, hit them week after week, and actually see results. See the description below for a simple crucible for online video content creators. This is also where you can see where it's actually possible to escape from the matrix, have that time freedom, and really have an intentionally creative life. The last 12 months, I've been using monk mode on and off. And I have to say, it's much like a sprint, and you need to take a little break from it sometimes and then come back to it. And basically, it brings back that ability to focus that a lot of us seem to have lost over time from social media and all the stuff that the matrix has to distract us with. Monk mode basically retrains that muscle and opens up the possibilities as never before. Because the matrix is always going to try to get you sucked back in and not achieving anything. The crow just reminded me of the exercise I'm going to share. And basically it goes like this. Take some time, maybe a week, and keep track of all the things you're doing. And don't try to constrain everything, just do a normal week. But as much as possible, try to keep track of when you do something else and another thing and another thing. You'll start to see where your time is basically going. Through that, you'll be able to list out what you do each day. You can see where you spend the majority of your time and where you might be able to find some time for monk mode. Now, of course, the usual suspects are there, Netflix, social media, and so on. And so basically you have to decide which parts you're willing to give up for this short period of time, and then make your rules from there. Some things you can do is look at books like Atomic Habits. You'll come to recognize the triggers that make you go and do certain things, go on social media or watch Netflix or whatever. You can basically hijack these triggers and refocus them on your monk mode instead. Now, an obvious quick reminder, this is a sprint, and you'll want to treat it as such because you can't go into monk mode for long periods of time. Some people go 6, 12 months. You really can't do that when you're first starting out. So you want to build up to it, and you want to make your targets as easy as possible so that you hit them and then you increase it. It's kind of like lifting weights. You figure out what your weights are and steadily increase from there. But don't go all gangbusters, otherwise you're going to set yourself up for, well, burnout. It's really by cutting out the distractions, you start to dial in on what's more important to you than a lot of what is provided within culture. The successes that people say that you should go toward are not necessarily going to be the successes you want. And by going into monk mode, you can really go towards those that you do want. And the results can be eye-opening. So this is taking all that time back. And monk mode is a way to kind of see that possibility. And that's basically how it can start to help you escape from the matrix. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.